Hey guys, Azir bringing you another video. Now welcome back to another patch note breakdown. Obviously these videos, we go over the patch notes, kind of try and digest them as best we can and kind of just see what's going on in the game. We always kind of like to have conversations here at HuzzyGames about balance. We don't always have to agree, and that's kind of the point. Your opinion is just as legitimate as mine. But I think most of us can agree that we are still wanting to see quite a lot of change from Riot. The game doesn't feel quite at the healthy level, I would say. There's still a lot of damage. There's still a lot of healing. So we'll see. And, you know, a lot of problematic individual champions as well. So we'll see what that patch, this patch 11.2, does to tackle that. And, yeah, hopefully, if all goes well, this should be today's second video out the day or the night before the patch goes live. If you appreciate that, because I've only got a few hours to get all this done, throw a like on the video and comment down below what you think of the patch. Do you agree with it, disagree with it? Have a conversation. So the first thing we'll do is we've got the overview, which I'm going to bring up large so we can kind of digest it. So we've got some nerfs, we've got some buffs, we've got item changes and some champion adjustments. So the nerfs are for Akali. Yes, you are hearing that right. She is getting nerfed again. Again, I've said the reason why you're going to see Akali forever in buffs or nerfs is her kit is just not the best. It's kind of a broken kit. So the only thing you can really do with Akali in her current state or current way is nerf her stats. But it's either going to make it too strong or too weak. You'll never get Akali in that Goldilocks area of just right unless you remove some mechanics. And obviously they've already removed quite a lot, but that's just the way that she is. So we got Akali nerfs, Darius nerfs, Elise, Ivan, Maokai for support, Nunu, and Olaf. So in all of these, the only one that I'm a little bit surprised by, if I'm completely honest, and this is where my opinion could differ, is Darius. I don't personally think Darius has been a major problem recently. Like, he isn't... A lot of the top lane crazy champions at the moment are gore drinker abusers, or like users, we should say. He doesn't use gore drinker, so I'm a bit surprised. I have played Darius so far this season, and he hasn't felt like amazing, but that's just me. But he is being nerfed for skilled play, which is Platinum to Diamond 3, which is technically the rank that I am in right now. Then we go into buffs, and oh boy, it's always a risk when you're buffing this champion. Azir is getting buffs. So Azir is notoriously that champion that got nerfed at a 44% win rate, because in higher rating, when he's so mechanical, and a perfectly played Azir when the champion is an okay amount of strength, is nearly unbeatable. You can't beat them in lane because they're so high range and they've got so good survivability, and his damage output is crazy good for being how safe he is. So you have Azir buffs, so I'm a bit... Caitlyn buffs, because I guess she's not at the Kai'Sa kind of level. Mundo buffs confuse me. We must be pretty close to the Mundo rework. I would wager it's a month, maybe two, maybe even less. I don't have insider knowledge, by the way, but it has to be pretty soon because they've shown us quite a lot about it. But they're buffing him, and I would say Mundo in a buffed state is really scary because tanks are still very strong. And Mundo, with also the healing problem of League of Legends, also could basically never die. So we'll see what that is. LeBlanc buffs, I agree with that. I do think LeBlanc hasn't been in a great place for ages. Nocturne, Senna, Shaco, Soraka, Trundle, and Varus. So again, Varus probably because AD carries, there's been, what, Jhin? Right now, it's basically played Jhin or Kai'Sa. There's like little ones, like a little bit of Ashe, a little bit of Misfortune, but there are the main two. We in the top right have champion adjustments or updates, which is for Aatrox and Zoe. I know I spoke to Vixie briefly about the Zoe ones, and she is very happy about these changes, which we will go over later. We have item changes, which might not just be for these. Sometimes they show this, and then there's even more items. But the standout one to me is Kraken Slayer, because some people may go, where the hell is the Katarina nerfs? There is the Katarina nerfs. It's within the Kraken Slayer item that it's going to be behaving differently for some champions. And then we have new stuff. We've got Viego, the Ruined King is this patch. Believe it or not, again, the amount of new champions that come out is absolutely mental. He's being launched with a Luna Beast skin that I don't think looks great. But then we have the Ruined 3, Ruined Karma, Ruined Draven, and Ruined Shyvana. I know some of you aren't interested in lore, but the cool thing with these is that these are officially part of the lore now in League. that the historic events of Viego coming back, he does take over those 3 officially. They are right now in the lore of League of Legends under control of Viego, which is kind of cool. Or like they were under control and some of them may have regained control. Well, but some of them didn't. If you watch the cinematic, he got Darius, but by the end of the cinematic, Darius took back control of himself because he ain't no little, you know, he's strong boy. Where Draven, on the other hand, he sucks. Anyway, then we also have a Jhin skin, Cho'Gath, Nico, and Nautilus, all for the Shanghai event. I'm presuming there's going to be a new loot event as well in the next coming days. But there we go. Quite a lot in this patch. So we will do our best to kind of go over it, give our opinions, and feel free to comment down below. So this one might be a little bit of a lengthy patch note video. We will do our best, though. So, new champion, Viego. Not my type of champion, because some people say, will I be playing him? Probably not. I think, unless there's a build that I was missing, that I would see him in a different way. I don't like his general playstyle. It's very Master Yi-esque to me. That, like, it's going to be really easy, I think, overall, to make Viego quite easily countered. The only thing that I would say is where there's always improvement with your own gameplay. Using the ultimate is going to be maybe what separates good Viegos. And it's not even just him transforming into other champions. It's the dash and the reset with the ult. That's how he's going to travel around in team fights. That might help him a lot, and that's something maybe I needed to get better at when I tested him. But there's that. Akali. So they are Q cost increased later. So the energy cost of her Q is going to finish on 100 energy per cost, where it was 80. So that's actually quite a considerable nerf. But without her trusty Gunblade, Akali has recovered well, wielding several of the AP mythics to her advantage instead. This has put her in a stronger spot than we anticipated, so we're looking to tone her down. So there you go. She'll still be a strong champion, to be honest. Azir. So again, the balanced nightmare that is Azir. Azir lost his cooldowns on Nash's Tooth and thus some of the wind beneath his wings. We're giving him a bit of a lift by returning some of the directly into his kit. Okay, that should be fine because Azir, when he had Nash's, was strong, but that wasn't like the reason. And all they're doing is he doesn't get cooldown reduction anymore by his default build. Nash's, I guess, doesn't have cooldown on it. So they're just taking off a second of his Q. So I think that's fine. The champion is still going to be very strong in good players' hands. Obviously, right now, he is the featured champion in the Champions Climb. If you haven't watched those videos, please do. But I think that's fine, to be honest. I don't think that's over buffing him. Caitlyn, AD growth increased. So they are giving her, in essence, 0.4 AD per level. That's not bad. Like in the early game, that does add up a little bit. You'll be surprised. Darius, passive Noxian Might, bonus AD decreased. Ooh, interesting. So on the base, it gave him 30 AD at level 1 up to 230. It's now giving 20 to 205. So just to explain how that works, when Darius pops his passive, he gets the 5 hemorrhage stacks on somebody. He gets direct AD. He is given AD. And at level 1, it used to be 38 attack damage. He just got to get. So at level 1, why do you really not want to fight a Darius? Well, if you are just fighting him and he gets that 5-stack hemorrhage, he's basically getting 20 AD, but used to get 30 AD extra at a level 1 fight. 30 AD at level 1 is a lot. So that's why Darius is one of those level 1, really good, wait in a bush, take W to get that attack reset, to get the 5 stacks quicker. They are now toning that down. So they're kind of saying, with his new friend Lightbringer, which allows him to execute his combo while quickly stacking his passive, they're just toning down the strength that he gets from extra AD. To be honest, I think that's okay. Like, again, I said I don't really think Darius is a problem. I still kind of believe he isn't a massive problem. I think there are way more problematic champions than Darius in the game right now that aren't featured in these nerfs. But I think this will... Yes, it's going to hurt Darius, obviously, and Darius players, I'm sure, like, really. But I don't think it's going to ruin the champion. I think for those that like playing him, I think he'll still be okay. Mundo, this scares me. Oh, God, there's doing a lot to Mundo. Oh, Jesus. So Dr. Mundo has been struggling in top lane and in the jungle, giving him a bit more survivability and trading potential and increasing his signature healing. Oh, no. So they are giving him 10% health refund on hit. So again, you have to remind yourself, Mundo has no mana, has no energy. His cost of his abilities is health. So when you throw a cleaver, and if you miss somebody, you just lose that health. The way that Mundo's always been is if you hit a champion, you actually regen a little bit for that. If you hit an enemy champion or a minion, but you don't kill it, you used to get 40% of the cost that it costs to throw the cleaver. You used to get that back. You're now getting 50% back. So let's just say it costs 50 health to throw the cleaver, and you just hit the enemy champion. If you hit the enemy champion, you're just getting 25 health back instantly. But well, the nice thing is, and this is actually, I would say, quite a big deal for lane sustain, is when Mundo used to throw cleavers and kill the target. So if you are farming minions and you're last hitting your minions with your Q, you used to get 80% of the health back. Now, you're getting 100% health back. If it costs 50 health to throw a cleaver, you execute the minion, you get the kill with it, you get all of that health back. Also with champions, technically, if you finish a champion off with your cleaver, you get the health back too. That's quite a big deal, I will say, because a lot of Mundos do last hit with their Q, and now it's going to be like an equivalent of Annie Q, that Annie gets her mana back if she last hits with her Q. Mundo just gets his health back permanently. So that might help Mundo just stay in lane for a long time. So the bonus damage he used to do of his maximum health is in the auto attack. It used to do 3% of his maximum health up to 5. It is now doing 4% up to 6, so a 1% maximum health buff. Now, some people may not think that's a big deal, but you also have to remember Mundo is a health stacking champion. So if he gets 4,000 health, which is not impossible in late game, that ain't bad. Even a 1%, what, in 4,000 health, 1%? Oh, this is where, like, again, basic math, 40 extra damage, is that? Am I dumb? 40 or 400? 40. I'm pretty sure it's 40 extra damage for doing nothing. That actually doesn't sound that good unless I'm being a dumb. And sometimes I will say, you can be a clever person, but when you're making a video, I don't know why, you just can't do math anymore. But feel free in the comments just to say, is that actually quite good? Again, 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it is actually not that bad, to be honest. And that's only that's a 1%. So again, when you're stacking up 5% to a 6% at 4,000 health, that is where it makes a bit of a difference. And then his ultimate, health regen. Oh my god, they're making him overheal. Oh! So his health regen used to do 50 to 75 to 100% of his maximum health. So Mundo could fully heal from his ultimate at level 16 with his ult. But obviously you can continue taking damage while you're healing up, so you might not get back to full health. Yep, never mind. So now it does 60% at rank 1, 85% at rank 2, and 110% at rank 3. So at level 16, it means Mundo is technically over-healing with his ultimate. So in active combat, the healing will still help him if he's taking damage. So that's quite a big deal, and I would say expect Mundo in your games starting tomorrow. I'm not even kidding. I think Mundo's always been quite strong. I'm a fan of Mundo. I've played Mundo for years, and I do think this is quite strong, especially when we come... Unless, which I think they are doing, they're touching on healing in this patch, maybe. Unless they're doing it big, he might be a problem again. Elise. So I do know Elise is doing quite a lot with damage and everything, and they're just toning down the damage in mid to late game. And notoriously, Elise is not a mid to late game champion. She is notoriously an early game snowballing jungler. So they're just making sure that she's not a mid to end game champion. So I think that's okay. Ivan, have seen quite a lot of Ivans pop up recently. I actually had one earlier today. Unfortunately, it won't be a video because it was kind of pointless, but there was an enemy duo that was playing Ivan and Kled in top lane. They camped my Trundle on my team, and the Kled finished lane phase with 14 kills. He went on to have 26 kills in late game. He was unkillable, and partially it was because the Ivan was duo with the Kled and just shielded him. You just couldn't kill this Kled. It was impossible. And also combine that with the healing that Kled did, 2 or 3 auto attacks, he was back to full health. So that was a problem. But they are making his shield ratio less. So it was a 90% shield ratio with his shield. It's now only, again, still quite high, 80%. So a bit of a nerf, but I think Ivan might still be around. LeBlanc, champion you don't really see that much anymore, but the health growth for the champion has gone up by 5 per level, and the Sigil of Malice, her Q, her, Arguably her main damage ability and combos is W, but Q is supposed to be, I guess. And at cost, it's becoming cheaper. So it's 20 mana at maximum rank, cheaper than it used to be. If I'm completely honest, and this might sound crazy to some people, it weirdly, and I can't believe I'm saying this, feels potentially like LeBlanc needs a damage buff. And why I'm saying that is there are some champions in League that are designed to be one-shot champions. That is their purpose. They are a glass cannon, as we say in World of Warcraft, that they have no defense. They will get one-shot themselves if they make a mistake, but they are supposed to one-shot other people. I've seen a couple of LeBlancs in preseason and now Season 11. They ain't one-shotting people. Not like Ari isn't really a one-shot mage. She can one-shot people because it's modern-day League. Annie also can one-shot, and Nivea can one-shot. She's definitely not a one-shot mage. So the identity of LeBlanc, which is a one-shot mage, she's kind of lost that identity because other mages are doing it as well. Like, they are just one-shotting. So either the other damages of mages, again, needs to be toned down, and then champions like LeBlanc, who are one-shot mages, stay as a one-shot mage, or maybe up her damage. I don't know. I don't know what the fix is. Because maybe we don't need to buff her damage. Maybe the fix is literally making other champions do less who aren't supposed to one-shot things. Next up is Maokai. This is for Maokai support. I've seen a few of these, and it is very annoying and oppressive. Because all they do is they're tanky in himself, but it's the saplings. They do so much damage. Like, without much AP, I have seen Maokai's kill people. So, the sapling cost is costing more mana. So you can throw less of them out, starting at rank 2, moving up to all the way up to the maximum rank. And it's also damage ratio. It does 1% per 100 AP. I'm guessing 1%. What? Damage ratio is 1% per 100 AP, but what is that percent? Again, excuse that I'm not 100% on Maokai. Is that 1% maximum health? Maximum current health? I don't actually know. I presume it's something to do with health, but they're not saying. But obviously, yeah, if you got 300 ability power on Maokai, it did 3% whatever, maximum health, for example. They're now toning that down to 0.8. So it might still be around, but it's not going to be as scary as Riot is saying, so that's good. Nocturne. Nocturne is falling behind, is jungle pals, so it's time to give his shadows paranoia and all around darkness some more stage time. So his Q is going down in cooldown to 10 seconds to 8, which is good. And his ultimate is also getting a buff in a 10-second buff. So it's going to be off cooldown 10 seconds earlier than normal. I don't know about Nocturne, man. Like, again, I think Nocturne's on the rework list right now. And I think it is because Nocturne is one of those quite linear champions that he has one job. He will ult every now and then. And the problem that Nocturne has is if the enemy team groups, you're a Nocturne that's going to dive into 5 people. You're going to just die. So I don't know if that's really going to help him. Obviously, a lot of people who like Nocturne, I am aware that play him in lane, that they're actually going away from jungle Nocturne. They're playing him mid or top because people get surprised by his 1v1 damage and you just split push. Because then you're not diving into 5 people as the jungler. You're then the split push top laner that can 1v1 people and use your ult in the 1v1. I don't know if this is going to help jungle Nocturne, but we'll see. Nunu, so it was quite funny in the previous patch. If you went on Nunu mains, the subreddit, every champion has a subreddit. All of them were like, what did we do? Because they escaped nerfs last patch. You know, there are some champion mains out there that they know a nerf is coming. Like, they expect it. They 100% agree with it. The champion's a bit too strong right now. And you have to remember, a lot of champion mains hate their champion to be overpowered because it gets banned or picked by people that, it gets banned or it gets picked by people who aren't the mains. That if you're just a jungle main and Nunu's really strong, you'll just start playing Nunu. You're not dedicated to Nunu, you'll stop playing him when he's weak. But if you're a Nunu player and he's really strong, you get frustrated because, everyone's picking my Nunu or they're banning my Nunu. The same goes with Katarina. So many more people have picked up Katarina recently, or she's a permanent ban. So if you are truly a Katarina player, for example, you're probably like, maybe we do need a little bit of a nerf to stop the bans or stop other people just randomly playing Katarina. So Nunu is finally getting nerfed, and they are nerfing his base movement speed and his base health. I mean, I don't know if those are the nerfs that I would have gone with myself, but yes, he is quite fast, and with his combining with his snowball and his health, they're nerfing that, so he'll die a little bit easier in the early game. I'm not entirely sure if that was enough. The thing that I probably would have done, I would have probably increased the cooldown of his snowball, because that seems to be like, that's all of his kit, right, is snowball. That's his engage, etc. So I would nerf that so he can do it less frequently, because we've all been there, that we've been ganked by a Nunu, and a few seconds later, he's back again with his snowball. So maybe that would have been better. So, Aatrox, this is one of the champion changes that they're not defining it as a buff or a nerf. They're defining it as a champion update / change. Let's see what it is. So, champions like Aatrox and Olaf are able to reach a scary state with massive burst healing from AoE items, and runes, Conqueror, etc. The moments where they feel untouchable aren't healthy, so we're shifting their healing to be sourced from more of their kit rather than from systems. Oh, that's interesting. So, how are they doing that? Anyway, let's see. So this is new for his dash. Umbral Dash's self-healing now increases. Oh, during his ult. Oh, that's how they're doing it. Okay, that's interesting. So what they're doing is they are nerfing his general healing. But is this really going to do anything? I should, like, right now, will this? I don't even know. So they're nerfing his general healing at any given time when he's not in ultimate, because that's also been a problem. The Aatrox isn't even ulted, and he's healing a crazy amount. But when he ults, the self-healing, it used to be 50, 75, 100% self-healing you get increased when you're in ultimate. It's now 30, 45, 60, but Umbral Dash's self-healing now increases while you're in your ultimate. So what's the point? Again, I might be missing something here, but I guess this is a nerf when you're not ulting on Aatrox, but when you are ulting, it's the same, right? Am I crazy? Because yes, the self-healing is only now 60% in your ult, but the passive, I think the self-healing on the E is a passive, right? Or is it when you've used it? I think it's a passive. It goes up to 50% during your ultimate. So when you're during your ultimate, does that mean you have 110% self-healing? I don't know. So it just seems to be a nerf when he's not in ultimate, but either nothing has changed or potentially even a buff to self-healing when he is in ultimate. That doesn't seem right to me, but maybe I'm getting something wrong. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Olaf, the next champion that they said is a little bit of a problem, so they are just toning down the healing. So this might be a little bit more easy to digest. The lifesteal of his W is going up. Okay, and then the healing amplification is going down. Okay, so the base lifesteal of Olaf is going up for the W, which seems rather counterintuitive, but obviously the lower health Olaf got, the more healing amplification it became. They're toning that down. I still disagree with this because I think even at 100% health, Olaf is healing too much, and they've now just buffed it. Like, what? To me, it just should be generic healing nerfs. Why are Riot so scared just to nerf the healing? I do not get what Riot's fascination with self-healing is. And again, I want to make that clear. No one is complaining. When they say healing, no one is complaining about Soraka or Nami or Janna or Rakan. None of the healing supports are that good right now. Everybody means the people that go whack, 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 and they just heal too much. That's the problem. Like, why are Riot so scared about healing, like nerfing it? I do not understand. It's crazy. Me in my stream earlier today spoke about what Riot could do about these champions, and one suggestion was when a target is impacted by grievous wounds, they cannot self-heal. That's what somebody said. It was like, maybe it should just stop people having lifesteal would be the fix. I partially agree, because that means you can still be healed by other people, like a Soraka could still heal a Draven, but that doesn't mean he could auto-attack twice and get back to full health. So that would be interesting, but Riot seems so against fixing it. It's weird. Senna. So they are doing something to Senna. Champion, you don't really see that much more anymore. Well, I don't, at least. So the attack speed ratio is going up a little bit. The passive non-kill Mist Wraith drop chance is going up. So this is a buff to support Senna, because it's minions that she doesn't kill now gives a greater chance of dropping a soul. So there's that. And she gets more gold while she picks up one of these souls. So again, just a pretty good buff to support Senna. And then also the Q, the healing ratio is going up, the damage ratio is going a bit up, and the Senna's Q on enemy champions now adds a stack of Kraken Slayer max 1 rank. So that's overall buffs for Senna support. A little bit of a buff, I guess, for AD carry Senna, because she is going to obviously make do with these little buffs here, but no, you know, she doesn't really benefit from this as well. She benefits from that as well, but this is more of a support buff. Shaco, backstab, his passive, so when he gets behind people, he does extra damage. It did 10 extra damage at rank 1. Level 18 did 25. It's now 20 to 35. That is actually not bad. Shaco's early strength for going in and invading, or level 2 ganking mid lane, which obviously is quite a known thing for Shaco. He's just got a bit stronger, so look out for Shaco a little bit. I don't think it's going to make Shaco meta, but this is for Shaco players. You know, there are some champions in League that have very dedicated player bases, and I would say Shaco players are definitely there. Shaco has been overpowered, he's been underpowered, he's been here or there, but there have been Shaco players that have sticked with that champion for years. So a very dedicated player base, and that just seems for them. I doubt that's going to make anybody pick up the champion. So Soraka, a champion that we've said no one is that bothered about the actual healing supports right now. So what are they doing? We know you've been licking your grievous wounds since its buff last patch, so we increased Soraka's healing power all round. So yeah, they're buffing Soraka's healing. Literally, they are buffing her healing. When everybody's shouting about healing, it's because it's not this type of healing. It's the self-healing. It's lifesteal. It's Omnivamp, which I think was a mistake. It's that stuff that is the problem, not Soraka. And, you know, I'm not a massive fan of Soraka or healing champs, but it's not a problem right now. So the total rejuve heal was 50 up to 90. It's now 50 up to 110, so a bit of a buff. And the W, the actual heal, and obviously that rejuve is for Soraka herself. The W, the actual heal, starts now at 90. It started at 80 and it finishes on 230. It finished on 210. So it's a 10 heal buff, flat, and then a 10% ability power increase ratio. So that's actually pretty good. That's good for Soraka players. Once again, I don't think it's going to make people play Soraka, but the dedicated Soraka player base, they'll just feel a little bit better now. So there you go. Trundle. And by the way, we're about halfway through the update. I might start going a bit quicker because there's a lot of items as well. Q bonus damage ratio increased. W bonus attack speed increased. All-round buffs for Trundle, the old trolley boy. I do like Trundle. He's quite entertaining to play. Bonus chomp ratio was 10% up to 50%. Is now 15% up to 55% AD is his extra damage he gets for chomp. That's quite good. And the W frozen domain attack speed bonus while he's on his own W is now 30% up to 110% increased attack speed. It was 100%, but it's a 10% buff overall. Not bad for dueling for Trundle. Not bad at all. You might see him back here or there. Varus, base mana... By the way, tank meta. Trundle is the anti-tank meta. He steals stats from tanks. Very good. Very good. And also a natural Blade the Ruined King builder. And potentially even Kraken Slayer, dare I say? Maybe. Varus, base mana growth increased. Our cooldown decreased early. Buffs all round. Again, weirdly... Riot do seem to have an obsession not with attack speed Varus. They don't seem to love that build on him. They love the lethality build, like the poke lethality build, and that's what this is. They're giving him more mana per level, and they're making his cooldown of his ultimate less cooldown, which obviously that helps both attack speed and AD, but especially for AD, lethality, Legolas Varus, you like to ult people, hold them, and you can get a free hit with your empowered Q. Zoe, so again, I spoke to Vixie about this and she seems to be happy, but the W minion spell shard drops updated. So you can no longer get redemption from the random balloons. No longer can give you redemption, and a lot of Zoe players hated that item on Zoe. Because it's like, I'm a aggressive mage, stop giving me redemption. And it was quite common to get, to be honest. But they now include, you can get a Randuin's, a Locket, Turbo Chemtank, Shurelya's, Yumu's, Goredrinker, Stridebreaker, and Prowler's Claw. So there is an abundance now of new items that Zoe can pick up, just bringing her more to Season 11. And then a bug fix, casting Zoe's W with a shard of an item in her inventory no longer causes that actual item to go on cooldown. For example, if you picked up someone else's Zhonya's, you used Zhonya's, it occasionally would make your own Zhonya's go on cooldown. It shouldn't have done that, and now they fixed it. So that is what I'd say, that is quality of life changes with Zoe. I don't think she needed damage buffs. I don't think she needed anything else. It's just quality of life updates. So that's pretty good. Item changes. So we're going to go through these pretty quick. Essence Reaver has been a little weak, so we're giving it a bump for mana-hungry champions. There's that. Gale Force, really strong item right now, so they are increasing the cooldown. So it was 60 seconds, it's now 90. It will still be obviously quite a strong item. Rocket Belt, they are making the bonus movement speed. You used to get 50% for 2 seconds. You're now getting 30. So for champions like Echo, Fizz, the ones that like to build this and you just can't get away from them, that is a little bit better. And you hopefully will be able to get away from them a bit more. Mandate, coordinated fire cooldown, applies when initial application of slow immobilize or allying consumes the mark. So despite a recent trip in the patch notes, etc., Imperial is still a strong item for solo laners and champions with multiple CC abilities. Our priority here is to move it. Basically, it's a support item, and right are like, we stop mid laners, stop building it. So they're really trying to just make it a support item. Kraken Slayer, now this is the update people have been waiting for. Kraken Slayer is extremely powerful on champions' abilities that churn out on hits. These abilities tend to have on-hit modifiers for this exact purpose. So Kraken Slayer will now leverage those modifiers on the following champions' abilities: Aphelios Q, Katarina Ultimate, and Urgot W. So again, they could have maybe gone into more detail here, but all I am aware of is, like, for example, Katarina did more true damage than any other champion in the game when you were combining Kraken Slayer with her passive with her ultimate. Apparently, it isn't really going to work anymore. Now, obviously, some people might still like this build, but yeah, I went on the Katarina main subreddit about 2 days ago when this was kind of announced on the PBE, or like a few days, maybe more days ago, and there was a lot of, I'd say the one thing is every league community is different. Every champion main community is different. Some champions, like we said about Nunu, a lot of them were laughing, how the hell did we escape a nerf last patch? They were expecting it. There's a lot of Katarina mains, for some reason, think that she's okay right now, which is mind-boggling. And a lot of them were kind of being really sad and going, oh, great, are we back to the AP build, I guess? Which is still not bad. But yeah, a lot of them are, I've seen a lot of them say, oh, it won't be worth doing the AD build anymore. No more Kraken Slayer, which also means less true damage or no true damage. And back to AP. So I think that's good. Like, Katarina has been a permaban for me over the last couple of weeks. And the occasional time you let it through, it's instantly picked and it goes legendary. You're like, ah, cool, fun. But that's good overall. It's nice that Riot is listening. Shurelya's Battle Song, with the cost reduction to Chemtank, the niches for Shurelya's and Chemtank are getting a little bit too close for comfort, so we're differentiating the two and making this one more suitable for AP users and enchanters. So they're giving more mana regen, it now gives 40 ability power, its item build is a little bit different, it no longer gives 5% bonus movement speed, and it's also for squishier people, less health from the item. So I guess some tanks might have been building this item or something, or I don't really know. Or maybe Rakans were just buying Chemtank, and now they're trying to make Rakans buy this, maybe? I don't really know. Gargoyle Stone Plate, they are making it better overall. So Fortified bonus armor and MR, 3%. Per stack up to 15. It now is 5%, maximum 25. So you get bonus MR and all that. So that's really good for the item. Lethality items. We're lowering the cost of some of the utility lethality items to create a new division of 2,600 gold AD items, both for AD supports and traditional assassins. So faster power spikes for AD assassins. I don't think that was needed, because I don't think anybody is thinking things like Pyke or Zed are that weak. Like, the only reason I'd say they're weak is because it's quite tanky, some of the meta, and an assassin isn't supposed to beat a tank. Like, just think of, like, modern history. I don't know, a assassin with a blade isn't supposed to go kill an actual tank from World War II. You know, that kind of thought process. So, I don't know, that's a bit weird. Marksman Legendary items. We're adjusting some of the stats in the Marksman Legendary items, so they give more attack speed than their components. So you're actually, they are stronger than their just base components, so that's good. Tank Mythics, they are probably still toning down these, I'd imagine. So Sunfire has been widely popular in contrast to the other two, because it's just been way stronger. Even though they seem similarly powerful, not really, in terms of win rate. But right there is what, like, sometimes it doesn't make sense what Riot's saying. So just to say, Sunfire is built way more than the other ones, yet its win rate is maybe a little bit even still better, or they're very similar. Something that has way more data but is still outperforming other things shows it's way too strong. But so they're still trying to adjust it. So it used to give, the Sunfire used to give 5 ability haste per legendary item. It's now 5% tenacity and slow resist per legendary item. So it's less about damage, more about tankiness. And then Frostfire, they are giving it... What are they doing to it? So they're making it cheaper. They're changing the item thing. They're giving this one more ability haste, but they're nerfing its armor by half. What? Okay. And then also for this one, making Chemtank cheaper. Magic resist has gone down by half. 20 ability haste... Am I missing something? Why? What? So they're giving ability haste to Chemtank. Surely Sunfire is still the best one to go. Especially that they're nerfing these by quite a bit. I think Sunfire probably still be the best one. But anyway, there's that. There's some bug fixes. IRAM balances, which we don't go through. There's some other stuff. We got new skins coming. I don't know if there's a prestige. Normally the prestige would be here, so I guess there's not a prestige this patch. And we got some chromas as well. They look really cool, to be fair, the ruined skins. I'm not a massive fan of the other ones, I will say. I don't know, they're a bit wishy-washy for me. But there we go, everybody. Quite a long patch, actually. 11.2. It is good that, I will say, the one thing I would give Riot... Well, I don't think the healing that they've actually properly looked at, and it's why sometimes you will hear content creators say, does the balance team even play the game? Because playing the game for a few matches, you would probably know self-healing is just out of control, and they still really haven't fixed it. So I am still worried about that, but it is seem that Riot are trying to get a control of other things, which is good. And just to say, because everybody always asks, the new skins will be available January the 21st, so actually patch day. And Viego, I guess. Technically, Viego will be out on patch day because Lunar Beast Viego will be available on 21st of January, and the skin cannot be available unless the champion is out. So I guess on the 21st, today, of this patch coming out, Viego must come out. But anyway, that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. Overall, I think it's an okay patch. Nothing crazy. Yes, I still think there are missing champions from the nerfs. Yes, I think they haven't properly gone into the healing and self-healing. But overall, they are working on it at least. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.